Good morning, everyone. Is everyone awoke? I thought I should have spoke before everybody ate, because you know you get drowsy after eating. Good morning again. I consider this event a blessing, as it gives me an opportunity to spend time with so many of you, our partners and staff that have been instrumental in bringing prosperity to our capital city. Since the last gathering on the state of the city, know that I have not grown weary, but rather I continue to be encouraged over our growing progress. You have been a part of our success. Allow me now to acknowledge a few significant persons for whom I speak. Ryan Unger, Executive Director for CREDIC. I and my staff thank you and the Harrisburg Regional Chamber and CREDIC for once again demonstrating your commitment to the city of Harrisburg by hosting today's event. Thank you to our legislative representatives, the Honorable David Madsen, Patty Kim, and Justin Fleming, for your service to our city. Thank you to our Honorable County Commissioners, Hartwick, Priest, and Douglas, for your ongoing partnership. And thank you to the other elected officials here who played a vital role in moving the city of Harrisburg forward. Senator Rothman, thank you so much. Also, I would like to extend a special thank you to City Council President Danielle Bowers, Vice President Asha Green, and to the rest of the City Council members. Although we have not always agreed on certain issues, the one most important thing we do have in common is that we all care about the people in the city of Harrisburg. We will continue to work together to accomplish that goal. Many thanks to all of you in attendance for your support of the city of Harrisburg. Our city remains strong, vibrant, progressive, and proactive because of the daily commitment of my staff that refuses to be mediocre. The devotion to our city and their daily inspiration feeds my soul, and I give them gratitude. Deborah Robinson, she is the electricity that keeps me running. Tiffany West, my memory bank. Letitia Scott, the gatekeeper. Aisha Bushy, our think tank. And my new business administrator, Samuel F. Sikoski. A nickname for you we got to determine. That's Sikoski. We start calling you Dr. Ski. But join me, everyone, in welcoming him with a warm applause. The National League of Cities has requested a member of my administration, Mr. Carl Singleton, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director, to participate in its 100th Anniversary City Summit Conference this year in November. The National League of Cities is known for being a valuable resource for mayors, city council members, and other municipal government staff. This is an honorable request, and I am confident the city of Harrisburg will be represented well by Mr. Singleton. Please stand, Mr. Singleton. Last but not least, Gloria Martin Roberts, who answered my call when I needed her the most and has stepped in and has been a proven leader, as well as an advisor and a consultant in moving the Department of Economic Development and Building and Housing forward. Ms. Roberts, please stand. Now, who else brings strength, commitment, and value to our city every day? Our public works laborers. They pick up an average of 100 to 100 tons of garbage per day. Outside of the city of Harrisburg, we contracted out to provide trash services to Stilton, and in Stilton, we pick up 25 tons per day. Also, Paxton, we pick up 10 to 12 tons per day there, and Pembroke, we pick up 22 tons per day. Trash pickup in these boroughs also include recycling and wood waste pickup. These services generate revenue for the city of Harrisburg. Before I move on to acknowledge my other invaluable staff, I must give special recognition to our public works staff. On August 9, 2024, the city dodged what could have been a terrible disaster. A tornado touched down in East Harrisburg and ran a 3-mile stretch from Derry Street north to Pembroke. Because we did not meet the required threshold, FEMA Disaster Agency did not deem it an emergency, so we had to use our city funds. I authorized the Public Works Director to use our funds to complete the task for the residents. $86,000 was used for manpower and equipment. The storm had destroyed more than 110 buildings, and by the grace of God, not a single person was hurt. What we saw after the storm was nothing short of inspiring. Our Public Works team dropped what they were doing and immediately became frontline workers and started helping our residents. Not because it is their job, but because they recognize friends, families, neighbors, co-workers, and other residents that needed a hand up. From August 9th to August 23rd, Public Works picked up 899 tons of wood and brush. We were blessed with volunteer help as well, clearing backyards and pathways for our residents. This could have been one of our darkest hours, but we turned it into a city of resilience for caring, strong, and a thoughtful community that kept hope alive. To the community, thank you for the compliments received regarding the timeliness of addressing the cleanup issues. Please give a hand to Public Works and to the residents. Now, allow me to continue recognizing our other warriors that uphold our quality of life, our firefighters, law enforcement, code specialists, planning, parks and recreation, human resources, operations, finance and revenue, building and housing, law bureau, diversity, equity, and inclusion, contract specialists, procurement, IT, facilities, and capital projects, our engineer, traffic and engineering, and last but not least, our former communications director, comprising over 450 valued staff who join me by coming to work every day with the attitude of making our city even better than the day before. For more than 50,000 residents, we call this a great city home. I ask that you join me in giving them a hand. But we have not accomplished anything alone. We continue to need your partnership. Those of you in this room and others who could not be here today have been the difference makers. You remain the hands that knead the bread that feeds our city because we share a common goal, a stronger capital city. An example of what we accomplished by working together is the rebuilding of our historic Broad Street Market. As I speak, work is underway on rebuilding our historic market. Alexander Building and Construction will oversee the rebuilding of our market. It is on board right now. Yes, it is our desire to first support our local businesses based here in Harrisburg City. They are also one of the region's leaders in large-scale construction projects. We now have an architect on board that will work collaboratively on the project. Design work is well underway, and the spring of 2025 is our goal to break ground, with an estimated completion date in late 2026 or early 2027. I am proud to stand before you and share our accomplishments of the past year and what we are looking forward to for the new year. Our attitude is there is plenty room for growth. When I took office nearly 3 years ago, I said that Harrisburg City is open for business. In 2022, my first year as the mayor, our mercantile office took in 635 new business licenses for companies that desire to do business in our city. That is the most we had in a single year since 2010. In calendar year 2023, that number increased by 501 new businesses. And this year, we expect that final number to be around 500 again. This is more than 1,600 new businesses over a 3-year span. These are the people who wanted to either start a business in Harrisburg or do work for the people of Harrisburg City. No matter the reason, it is all good. As everyone in this room knows, business equals revenue. Our tax revenue has increased every year since 2015. Our business, parking, and amusement tax collections are all projected to exceed 2023 figures. We now have integrated our finance system by the implementation of Munis, a software designed by Tyler Systems, accessing financial data, inputting and tracking invoices, processing checks, and producing fund balance and revenue forecast reports. I would like to thank my IT director, Steve Bortner, his team, and my former business administrator and former finance director for managing and moving forward with the full implementation of Munis. Mr. Bortner, thank you. Since my January 22, 2022, the City of Harrisburg has been open to business and welcomes everyone who enters the building. An average of 225 to 400 people visit the Martin Luther King Jr. Government Center on a weekly basis. Harrisburg City is not only open for business, we are open for construction. I thank and applaud the large-scale construction projects that have already started, like the Broad Street Market or the I-83 expansion in the FMB Stadium, or the projects that are on their way, like the South Bridge replacements, which we expect the tax revenue to approach $5 million annually in the coming years. Like with all municipalities in Pennsylvania, the pandemic created misery on all levels of life, but it did not dismantle our spirit or our survival. There's one thing you all know about Harrisburg. Because we have endured many challenges, we stand united and persevere in overcoming our challenges. This was accomplished by getting our house in order. A top priority when I took office was to get the city free of decades-long debt. Today, the City of Harrisburg stands on strong financial ground. Just last month, the Intergovernmental Cooperation Authority approved the city's most recent 5-year financial plan. Our projections year over year are in the black, and with the ICA's confidence in us, I plan on starting the process to remove the City of Harrisburg from Act 47 status. Thank you. This will close the book on a sad period in the history of our city and open the doors on a new and exciting chapter. So, we have a growing tax base of businesses waiting and wanting to be a part of the city's success. Now, the question becomes, how do we sustain it? This is not a project where we snap our fingers and the question is solved. In order to develop our local economy, we must look beyond the norm and reimagine how to create a consistently growing economy. Our vision must be inclusive. As we invite people in, we can never forget the people who remained here in the worst of times. We must understand that a house divided cannot stand. We must understand that even those who may be struggling socially and economically desire a quality of life. We must be humble and know that the least of us want acceptance, respect, and yes, sometimes a hand up. There are those who believe that they are better than the have-nots. But I tell you on this day, don't get too comfortable. Any catastrophic event in your life can create a different lifestyle other than what you have grown accustomed to. I speak of the mother of 4 in Hall Manor, who's working for a minimum wage and living through sleepless nights to support his and her family and at the same time keep them safe. Or the couple who have lived in Allison Hill for 40 years, needing housing rehabilitation. Their neighborhood may have changed, but their love for the city of Harrisburg remains the same. Or families like mine who have called the city of Harrisburg home for generations. Born, raised, and believed in Harrisburg first. We must continue to inspire them to remain as residents here. Our newcomers to Harrisburg City, I welcome you with open arms, and I want you to experience the same longevity and love for our city as I have. The city continues to undergo ambitious initiatives on multiple fronts. First, thanks to a U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development grant, we are looking to transform the Hall Manor and Hoover Homes developments in South Harrisburg. This project will replace more than 220 units into a mixed income space of opportunity. The development will provide diverse housing options for current residents while fostering an inclusive community where people of different incomes can thrive together and live in unity. We will build this space with retail, business, and community services, all walkable and bikeable, prioritizing health and mobility. This will contribute to a more vibrant neighborhood community and remove systemic and historic judgments towards those living in public housing. You will soon see the same revitalization in Allison Hill. Our gratitude to Governor Shapiro and Lieutenant Governor Davis. The state has welcomed Allison Hill into its Blueprint Communities program. We are going to transfer how people live and do business in one of Harrisburg's oldest and proudest neighborhoods. We first addressed affordable housing. The city of Harrisburg is addressing blighted and vacant properties in record numbers. Thanks to Blueprint, we will be able to begin replacing these lots with new affordable housing. The city of Harrisburg is and has been concerned about the residents of Governor Square Apartments. Although this is not a city property, in addition to removing trash and policing the area, we also have been working closely through the bankruptcy process with housing, urban development to find a qualified buyer for the property. In the meantime, we have been vigorously enforcing the rights of the people living in Governor Square for their landlord and owner to provide a safe, clean, healthy environment. As always, I will continue to take care of the residents in the city of Harrisburg. Business development and support. Allison Hill was once one of Harrisburg's most thriving small business centers. And with new investments, this legacy will be restored. My administration will be the administration to tell local residents, you deserve the same opportunity to start a business as those in other parts of our city. Connecting resources. This is the backbone, and where the city will partner with folks like you and local organizations so that we break down barriers that have stood in the way for generations. As we demolish the old public housing camps, at the same time, we will banish the societal myths related to these neighborhoods. The families that were once faced with having backs turned on them will experience a renewed way of life, one where they feel equal to the rest of our society. The city of Harrisburg has 7 districts within their boundaries. My administration remains committed to the entire city. I have no favorites. Of course, economic development is more than just creating new and revitalized space for people to live. It is meeting people where they are and not asking them to drive outside the city for basic needs. How do we evolve the downtown into a new, thriving economic center? I'm issuing a call to action to everyone in this room to work with my administration in making this happen. We must do a better job of joining forces with our public and private partnerships. I am directing my economic development staff to prioritize designing a tangible plan that draws the attention of existing and the desire of new and innovative businesses. Since COVID, state government has changed the landscape of our businesses in downtown. We can no longer be simply a hub for just state workers. We must develop a downtown that appeals to the masses far and wide. I am certain we will accomplish this with all of you standing in partnership with the city. Nearly 3 years ago, I took office with a massive shortage of affordable housing options. Since that time, my administration has attracted 10 separate affordable housing constructions, with 2 at its peak for opening soon. I take this opportunity to commend them. First, the Bethel Village at 6th and Hurst Street, targeting affordable housing for seniors. Second, TLC Construction for the Cornerstone Housing Project at 15th and Wanda Streets that will house 50 residents. Fernandez Realty Group for their beautiful Sycamore homes. And of course, LaShawn McCoy for giving back to his hometown in a big way, leading the way on both the Savoy 48 affordable units on 6th Street and the JMB Gardens project just a few blocks away. I am delighted to tell you that we set aside $8 million in American Rescue Plan funds towards these developments. This demonstrates the commitment by these developers to provide shelter for some of our most disadvantaged citizens. The city has been working very closely with Dauphin County and the area law enforcement, which includes the Harrisburg Police, and homeless shelters such as Downtown Daily Bread and Christian Churches United in an attempt to better serve more of the homeless population. Our Department of Building and Housing is making a difference in the lives of Harrisburg residents. This year, we have started to roll out our home improvement projects, made possible by more than $1.7 million in American Rescue Plan funding. By the end of this calendar year, as many as 25 homes belonging to low-income residents will have a brand new look and will be codes compliant. By the middle of the new year, we expect to provide necessary makeovers to 166 homes. We are not stopping there. This is on top of our annual home repairs program made possible by Community Development Block Grant funds. We expect to have repairs made on 30 homes by the end of this calendar year. For us, it is about preserving history and emphasizing quality and safety over quantity. The houses in this city have such a rich history, and we are committed to protecting them. When people have safe, clean, and beautiful homes, there is a pride attached to keeping it, a pride that extends to taking care of your neighborhood, which leads to crime reduction and increased property value. It begins with a hammer and a nail and finishes with uplifting our communities. This is the Harrisburg city that I have always been and remain committed. I thank my interim director, Gloria Martin Roberts, and her team for their vision, which mirrors mine. When homes are past their lifespan, the Codes Bureau is first on the scene. Yes, there are absolutely too many vacant and blighted properties in our city. Yes, we are absolutely doing something about it. At the start of the year, we had over 600 condemned buildings in our city. Today, the number is under 550. Instead of charging low to moderate residents with crimes or citations, our code officers are working with homeowners to get their properties upgraded by addressing code violations. Of course, in some cases, some properties are vacant and are beyond repair. By the end of this year, we will have demolished 20 condemned buildings, and doing it largely with in-house equipment and staff, which was a very good suggestion made by our Public Works Director, Dave West. Thank you, Mr. West. What does this mean? We are saving taxpayers $20,000 to $25,000 each time by putting our own union employees to work. This year, we will be saving nearly $400,000 by not contracting out, but by using our in-house resources. This work will clear the way for green space and affordable homes. With all of our departments working in unity, it makes it possible to turn blight into bright. Beautifying our neighborhoods goes far beyond knocking down a vacant building or picking up trash. Last year, our Public Works team, under the direction of Mr. David West, oversaw the paving of 17 different stretches of city streets. This year, we are doing more in-house paving, and for the first time ever, saving our residents tens of thousands of dollars in the process. Ultimately, we are planning to freshly pave 27 separate city streets this year. Paving not only makes city streets safer, it makes driving more pleasurable. So, as long as the material is accessible for our pavers, you bet your asphalt that the City of Harrisburg Public Works will get the job done. In my administration, we realized opportunity and safety are directly connected. That is why we have invested in our public safety units more than some prior administrations have. Our Fire Bureau, under Chief Brian Endersline, is consistently the gold standard for fire departments across Pennsylvania. We have replaced an aging fleet with 3 new trucks this year. When they're not fighting fires in our city, they are often first to arrive on the scene in other boroughs and townships. When they are not doing that, they're going door to door installing smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors in any home that wants them. Their commitment to our city residents never takes a break. Thank you, Chief. When it comes to policing, we are taking a serious look at improving upon community policing. Under my administration, we have invested in our community service division more than ever before. The guidance and training they have received under Captain Russell Winder has been excellent. We now have 6 community service aides, and hopefully more after the next budget cycle. Also, a group violence intervention program, referred to as GVI, is off and running. The GVI program focuses on reducing violence, improving public safety, strengthening communities, and building relationships between law enforcement and the citizens of Harrisburg. We are already making inroads with individuals who choose crime instead of being good citizens. Our GVI program is all about offering choices to people to tell them there is a better way than the life they are living. It has worked in communities nationwide, including some and others down the road in York, Pennsylvania. But it is not an overnight fix. And I'll say that again. It is not an overnight fix. This will take 5 or more years to see noticeable change. When it does, it will be generational and will make Harrisburg City a safer place to live for our children and families. I firmly stand with Commissioner Tom Carter in support of this program, who has always operated on what is best for the city of Harrisburg. Commissioner Carter and Deputy Chief Kenneth Young have joined me several times in meeting with residents and citizens who had serious complaints. It is more important to understand for the people the investigative process that we undertake. A crucial part of making Harrisburg a safe place to live is giving our children a safe place to play. We are able to invest in our parks and recreation program more than we have in a generation, using a $13 million grant to transform 4 city parks. They are 7th and Radnor, Gorgas Park, Wilson Park, and Reservoir Park. Our children will be able to have playgrounds that are accessible to everyone with state-of-the-art equipment, new ball fields and courts, and environmentally friendly infrastructure. Designs are being finalized, and we aim to have construction begin in the spring of 2025. Speaking of renovations, we are coming off a summer where Jackson Lick Pool hit max capacity at least once every week. Thanks to a preseason renovation, and mark your calendars, 2 major free events are coming up this fall and winter. Next Wednesday is our 3rd annual Halloween Bash at the Brownstone. This has become one of the premier events of the year, where hundreds of families can come to Reservoir Park and celebrate Halloween in a safe place. On December 7th is our Winter Wonderland event at the Camp Curtin School, located on North 6th Street. Sometimes the narrative in our community has been that there is nothing for the children to do. Well, I counter that by saying there are more activities for our children to do in this city than ever before. Our summer enrichment program had more than 800 children sign up. They received daily art classes, music classes, yoga, dance lessons, tennis, swimming lessons, and movie nights. Now that we are into the school year, we have daily after-school programs for children up to 18 years of age. So there is a safe space for them to do homework, have a healthy snack, talk to people, and play games. Best of all, guess what? It is 100% free. If we do not invest in our youth, we are failing as a society. I am pleased to announce that this past year, our Parks and Recreation team maxed out on city-sponsored summer jobs for our youth before the start of May. Thank you to Director Sasha Ross, her assistant Kevin Sanders, and their team for prioritizing our children and giving them meaningful, safe, and fun activities throughout the year. When I learned that the Harrisburg Housing Authority did not have adequate funding to implement their summer program, as Chief Executive Officer of this city, I secured $200,000 for the Housing Authority program. So no child was left behind because we secured enough funding to hire 85 youth in the Harrisburg Housing Authority program over the summer. Everyone in our city deserves to be safe, whether you live, work, drive, bike, or walk here. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to meet with United States Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. I told him we are desperately trying to make our streets safer. He and the Biden administration came through, awarding the city of Harrisburg nearly $1 million. This money will go directly towards retiming 25 different stoplights throughout the downtown area. Poorly timed traffic lights create driver confusion and ultimately serious injuries or worse. This project will retime the entire downtown network, emphasizing the needs of people who are riding their bike or walking on our streets. Meanwhile, our engineers continue to implement the goals of Vision Zero. Today, Vision Zero is working in the city of Harrisburg, and I believe that it states we hopefully will have no more vehicle or pedestrian deaths by the end of this decade. This is why I'm pleased to announce the next stage, Vision Zero, in the city of Harrisburg. It's called Vision Zero 2.0. This is the next round of vehicle infrastructure projects designed with pedestrians and driver safety in mind. You are already seeing work done on the Capitol Gateway project along Foster Street. This project along Harrisburg's busiest stretch of road will slow down cars coming in and going out of town, thanks to more narrow lanes and raised crosswalks. We will also give pedestrians and bicyclists more room and time to cross the streets safely. Next up is the East-West Connector project along Chestnut Street downtown. We will be installing a dedicated bike lane between 3rd and 4th Streets, while also adding in more raised crosswalks. And lastly, an area that is near and dear to my heart. Many of you may know I am from uptown Harrisburg. I am tired of seeing Division Street used as a speedway. I was present when a little boy got hit last year coming from Camp Curtin School. I have directed our engineering team to do whatever is necessary to make Division Street safe. And their response was, Mayor, we got your back. I am pleased to announce public input is underway to seek ideas that will make Division Street traffic slower and much safer. We have already witnessed how making vehicular safety reduces accidents by noting the 2nd Street corridor that is now 2 ways. Another example of the city and community collaborating for the greater good of all, by the way, in your booklet is the contact information of my department heads if you have any questions about how we are going to do our next corridor. Please feel free to connect with them regarding your concerns and our input. In summation, I served 16 years on City Council and almost 3 years as the mayor of our fair city. I'm not only proud, but strongly confident that our city is progressing in the right direction. But as the mayor, let me share some community events that are very clear, and close and dear to my heart. Through sponsorship, I was able to initiate Senior Citizen Christmas holiday trip to the farm show. 61 seniors were able to attend. With the help of the Capital Area Transit We picked up seniors at various locations and brought them to and from the farm show. And if you ever know 61 seniors, I couldn't find them. I had to have people riding around the whole farm show looking for them. And we also gave them gift cards. So they say, wait a minute, I just want to buy one more thing. So that was a chore. And we are going to have it again this year. As a matter of fact, the information will be disseminated out to the senior citizen housing units. The next one I'm very, very happy for in doing is the Christmas toy giveaway. 7,500 toys were donated by Toys for Tots. The Fernandez Realty Group donated 50 laptops for the children for this Christmas giveaway. I also performed 18 weddings in the City Hall atrium area. No matter what their nationality, race, color, gender, or sexual orientation, I married them. We performed the weddings, and the wedding couple we later gift with photos. And last but not least, Friday is my day for office visits with the community. So far this year, I have met with 102 residents from the community. I have met challenges some thought would defeat me, but as a servant leader, I lean on a higher power to drive this journey. This is why I conclude that Harrisburg's best days are ahead, and the tireless work we have accomplished since January 2022 has prepared us for even a brighter future. We must continue these good works without a lapse in leadership for the completion of all our many visionary projects. I am so convinced of this that next year is my humble honor to seek re-election as your mayor. And I want to leave this quote to you as I leave the stage. This is a quote by my grandmother. She said, "Do not worry about those talking behind your back, because they're going to talk." She said, "They are behind you for a reason." Thank you for being a kind and enduring audience. Have a blessed day.